before the match saying he made it,
Yeah,
telling Brian.
Big up LA, and we met him before the game yesterday. Obviously, he's been on quite a lot of fan shows in the past, and he got to his first time in the new stadium, and he was in awe of the place yesterday. I bumped into him with Stel, and he was absolutely loving life. He gave us a little Los Angeles Spurs t-shirt as well, which I absolutely loved. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, it was great to see him. It really was.
Yeah, we got to speak to him after Liverpool, and he's a good lad.
He really
he's a
is.
good lad. Brian was in his unwashed t-shirt, yeah, showing it off.
I wonder if he got any more stains on it this weekend.
Apparently chicken wings. We spoke to him after the match, and he's trying to work out whether or not he needs to wash it before next season.
Can't watch it.
Yeah,
he can't wash it.
Yeah.
That shirt has got to go unwashed until we lose in it.
Until we lose in it, absolutely. I think by the time next season kicks off, it would have developed into a new life form. But
probably there's going to be stuff just growing up.
Yeah, exactly. A whole new biome. And then, obviously, Spurs official, celebrating the full-time win, 1-0.
Brilliant.
Yeah. This is an interesting one from Lily White Rose. We've conceded just 5 goals in our last 10 Premier League games.
I was actually looking at the form, just where it goes WL, but whatever it is, what it used to be, WL.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, the form over the past 10 games is actually unbelievable. Obviously, we lost to Brighton and we drew to Brentford. But apart from that, we won every other game.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Oh, well, Liverpool, obviously, but,
Yeah, but I mean, it's one thing. This is the thing. We keep coming back to it. It's almost like we're living rent-free in their heads when we're not. They're living rent-free in our heads. It's not that. It's just it illustrates the point. Arsenal going on and on and on about, oh yeah, look at what Arteta's done. Look at what Arteta's done. It's like Conte has won more points since he's been at Spurs than any other club apart from Man City and Liverpool. And likewise, Spurs have scored more goals in the league than any other club apart from Man City and Liverpool since Conte took over. So, put that up against it and you see why Arsenal getting top 4 would be an overachievement, whereas Spurs getting top 4 you could argue is actually at the level that Conte has got them to.
I like the way the mentality maybe of the two fan bases, where Arsenal are kind of being like over the top every time they get a few results and blah, blah, blah. But on the flip side of that, when they don't get a result, it's like they come crashing down to earth, they go into hiding and stuff like that. Spurs, I feel like the fan base, I mean, we've been on a really good run and no one's really talking about it. Not even our fans are talking about it. It feels like we're just quietly going under the radar, just doing our thing. Yeah,
absolutely. And I like that. I like that because it sort of takes one element of pressure off us, because that always happens. With the sort of 2 seasons where we were challenging for the league, it was like the pressure wouldn't have helped, or the outside pressure, the outside scrutiny wouldn't have helped. And this is still the pre-Conte era for me. Anything that happens this season is, if it's good, it will be a bonus, and if it's bad, it's part of the transition period. So not an issue for me.
I completely agree with your point on the pre-Conte era, because on Thursday night after the game, I said that was the rebirth of the new stadium.
Yeah.
That was the real kind of opening, the grand opening of that stadium. And obviously the stadium had been open for 2 years prior to that. But I feel the grand opening of this Conte area will be pre-season this year.
I think so, absolutely. And that atmosphere, that opening of the stadium on Thursday, I think should be a sea change in our approach as fans when we're in the stadium. What we saw, what you talked about at the beginning with the atmosphere against Burnley, the atmosphere being good, we need to try and emulate that as much as possible. It won't always bring about a good result. It won't always bring about a win. It won't always bring about good play. But we've got to do this more. We've got to be a little more
But the thing
willing.
Is, it increases our chances.
Of course it does, yeah. It's just defending against hurt when we don't do it. I can understand it, and it's perfectly understandable. I've done it myself. We've all done it. But I think we need to start being just a little smidge delusional about ourselves and back our team, even in the face of actual evidence, I think.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, what is actually delusional about what you're saying? Because if we can go to Man City and we can go to Liverpool and even if when they come to our house and get results against them, why can't we get results against anyone?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's delusion?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's putting aside the doubts in that case, I would say. doubts will always be there, and this is football. Anything can happen. So it's just invest a little more now. I know it's hard given what's happened to Spurs in the past. Investing always seems to bring about hurt. For me, I'm happy to invest, even if it hurts later. I'll deal with the hurt if it hurts.
Agreed. I'm with you. I'm with you. What's up next?
So, Ryan Sessegnon against Burnley, your man of the match. I don't know if I can play the video. Can I play the video on there? Will it work?
What is it?
It's a little video here. Let me try and play it and see if it comes up. If we're allowed to. Are we allowed to play it?
Probably not.
Okay, so I
play
won't
a few seconds of it.
Okay.
Oh, it's just his individual highlights.
Yes, it's just his highlights, but it's someone's copyright, so we'll move on. A lovely picture there of two best mates. Must be. Sonny and Kane.
What I was loving yesterday about the lap of honor, or when the players were thanking the fans and everything, like Sonny was just going up and playing with all the different players.
Yeah,
it was just so funny. I mean, there was one moment where Sanchez just came up to Sonny, was just like, "Here, just take him."
Yeah, I think that's what every parent does. It's like, free babysitter. Yep, have it.
Here you go, Sonny.
Kane has lost an incredible amount of weight under Conte, allegedly. He does look very svelte, doesn't he?
I was actually saying this to Sim and Ashley on the way home and Danny on the way home yesterday. I said to them, Kane right now looks at his peak physical condition. He really does, and he looks like a different animal physically to what he has been last season, the year before, like ever, in my opinion. Am
I right in thinking that he's gone completely injury-free this season?
Yeah, I think he has. I think you're right.
Which is unusual. He's always had an injury at some point, hasn't he?
Last season, he got an injury, but only kept him out for one game.
Yes, that's right.
He was already getting better last season.
Yeah.
But this year, injury-free.
Injury-free. Amazing stuff. Next up is another video. Obviously, we can't show that. Antonio Conte on his Instagram, thanking the fans for the amazing support. This guy is... I'm in love with him.
Yeah.
You know,
how can you not be?
How can you not be?
And I mean, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but they were showing, like highlights of the season on the big screen, and Conte was just standing there like this, and his expressions while he was watching. He was just so proud of his team, I loved it because, like, for a manager like that to be proud of his team, for what he's done in the game, is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, this guy is a maestro. This guy's we know this. It's not even a revelation to say this. There's no insight here. Nobody can deny that he is one of the best managers in the world at the moment. We're lucky to have him. We're so fortunate to have him, and we have got to capitalize on the fact that he's here, because he can take us places. He can take us places, and it's wonderful to have him.
It really is. It really is. And, you know, if he is here, I mean, the way he's talking, it does seem like he wants to be here. It does seem like him and the club, I hope, touch wood, are on the same page now. And it does, the way he's talking does seem like he is going to be here for the foreseeable.
I hope so. It has to be like that. It has to be like that. You don't, if someone gives you a Ferrari, you don't get back in your Fiat Punto. You know, you get in the Ferrari, you learn to drive it, and you look after it. You know, that is what Conte is. He is the Ferrari of football managers.
Exactly. You don't put that shitty unleaded in.
Exactly.
You put unleaded in.
Exactly. High octane fuel is what he needs, because he will perform if you provide that. There's nothing to say about Conte that hasn't already been said. He's a winner. He's a football manager of par excellence. That's it.
Absolutely. All right. What we got?
Another one of Ian. It looks exactly the same, but this is the post-match photo. So it looks to me like
he's got a bigger smile on his face.
No, it's exactly the same size. And the weird thing is, all the people who are in the pre-match thing are still in their seats. So I don't know how you've engineered that one, Ian.
Big up, LA. Ian.
Obviously had a great time. Amazingly, Eric Dier thanking the fans for the atmosphere.
Let's talk about Eric Dier.
Let's talk about Eric Dier, yeah.
Because he's had a brilliant season.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't had a call up for England as of yet this season. What does he have to do to get this call up? Because in my opinion, he should have been called up in the last 2 squads.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think when Eric Dier first ended up in the England squad, though, wasn't he picked as a central midfielder? Because that's where he was playing for Spurs as a defensive midfielder. Am I right in that, or have I got that wrong?
Yeah, you could be right. I think you're right, because when he played in the last World Cup, did he play in a back 3, or did he play in the midfield? I can't really remember. If anyone in the comments can
let us know
where Eric Dier did play in that World Cup, but he didn't play in the Euros. He didn't get called up for the Euros, quite rightly so. But ever since, his emergence this season, and even, some stage at last season, he was having a good season, but it kind of fell off for him.
Yeah.
But this season, in my opinion, he really deserves it. People are saying CDM.
Who was CDM?
CDM in the World Cup. So,
I think it's Southgate has this sort of tendency to be conservative at certain points when it comes to his selection, or not trying to tweak too much. I think, but I think it's undeniable that Eric Dier, no matter what some might think of him, has certainly been better than Maguire this season,
and Tyrone Mings.
So, if Southgate is accurate about he will pick players on form, then at the very least, don't pick Maguire and Mings, pick Dier.
Not only that, he's had more game time than John Stones this season. I mean, I know Ben White's had a good season, but it's arguable who's better between the two. It's not exactly a clear-cut conversation.
Absolutely.
So I think when you're looking at English centre-backs in terms of current form across the whole season, I think Eric Dier has been at least in the top 2 or top 3.
I would think so. I would absolutely think so. And it's difficult to understand why he's not being picked on the evidence of this season. Look, if we want to talk about a Dier as a defender, over the sort of last 2 years, then he's had one mediocre season and one decent season. That is not really a consideration for the England manager, though. You look at who is playing well right now. Let's also be aware that we don't want to preempt. We never know. Southgate might pick him for his World Cup squad. We don't know. I think given the form that he's shown this season, he's been an ever-present, as far as if I'm remembering correctly, has not made as many of those ridiculous. But he's got one small thing that he keeps doing, though, which he's got to work out of his game, and that's turning his back. That has to stop. And I'm hoping that someone in Conte's coaching staff will sit him down in the summer if he's going to be staying and say, right, we're going to get that out of your game. If he does that, I think he can actually become a really effective defender. Not Romero level, because Romero is something else. But certainly good enough to be a central mid defender for Spurs, maybe as a backup, maybe as a first choice, and certainly for England.
Absolutely, completely agree. Couldn't agree more.
Up next, there's a little chart here from the Extra Inch. Okay, I'm just trying to see it. My failing eyesight is not helping me here. Bear with me. Team rating: we are 4th.
Oh, this is
from
right up Sim Street. This kind of stuff. Let me see if I can find it.
It's from that website, the one with the numbers in it. I've forgotten the name of the website.
What they're saying is, I think the key point to take here is the percentages of where they think each club are going to finish. They've given Spurs a 60% chance now of finishing in the top 4.
Right.
Which is absolutely massive.
Yeah, I think so.
Compared to when Arsenal got an extra game to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, the top 2 we know are set. That can't be changed. Chelsea,
Arsenal 41% to finish in the UCL.
Yeah, I don't think they will. It's not, and even that is not me thinking delusionally. I just don't see it. Yeah. They're still young. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of seasons they might have enough about them to challenge for it. Right now, they don't.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they do somehow get over the line tonight, those percentages dramatically change.
Of course, and at this stage of the season, it's to be expected. I mean, Nick said it. Nick, Barry, Sean, Ranjit, Dave, whatever his name is today. He said that there's going to be twists and turns. Have we seen them all? We don't know. Maybe there might be more. The twist was going to Liverpool and getting the result, and then beating them a thing which people might not have expected. There's the the season's not over.
The twist has not been complete yet until they drop points tonight, though.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's that.
Agreed. More video of the after show party. This one made me
Sonny
laugh.
and his kid.
Yeah, this one made me laugh. I'm sort of scrolled past the video, so it's at the bottom of the screen, guys. I apologise. Arsenal fans unironically think there's some big plan from the FA to regularly give decisions against them. FFS. Yeah. We know. We've heard it so much.
But when they get the lucky penalties and the lucky decisions, and they get defenses just passing the ball to Nketiah, and Nketiah getting completely so lucky in every goal he scores this season, pretty much barring that second goal against Leeds. Nothing gets said.
Nothing gets said. That's the FA operating at full, functionality for Arsenal fans, I think. Another chart here about Christian Eriksen. These are his player ratings against thing. Yeah,
I thought he was brilliant.
Yep. I saw bits of that Brentford game against Everton, and he did make them tick.
Yeah.
You know, it was all sort of being orchestrated almost by him. They've got some great players. They really do, and you can see the hunger and the energy that they have. Obviously, they had the advantage with the red card. Not the second one. The second one didn't provide much of an advantage because it was so late. But yeah, Brentford are good, and Eriksen, I think, has slotted in well there. He has slotted in well there.
I would absolutely love him at Spurs. And if you go to the next one, there's a nice quote from him as well.
Yeah.
Which says, I have different offers and options which we are considering, and then I need to make a decision. I would love to play Champions League football again. I know how much fun it is, but it isn't essential for me. What do you think he means by that? I mean, he obviously wants to play Champions League, but it's not essential. I mean, does that mean he's coming to Spurs? Because
this is it, because they're definitely in the UCL. It could be taken that way. It may well be taken that way, or it might just be a case of a man who is with a close brush with death, being more reflective on his current status. It could also be saying, look, if Brentford want me, I don't need the Champions League. I might be happy to stay at Brentford. It's a very well crafted statement, because you can draw your own conclusion from it without him actually giving anything away. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll see what his future holds.
Taking your Spurs hat off for a second regarding Christian Eriksen, I know it's hard, but he left in the way he left. The fans didn't exactly treat him well for the last year he was at Spurs. I don't think he downed tools on purpose, but I think that psychologically, when you want to go, it's hard to put your all into a club, right?
Absolutely.
We've seen it many a times with many different players over many different clubs. He left the way he did. He went to Inter Milan, didn't click for him at start. He got into the team, won a league with Antonio Conte. What happened to him at the Euros happened to him. Obviously, it's got to be a major life-changing moment with many reflections happening. He comes back to football where he didn't think he was going to come again. He didn't think he was going to step foot in a pitch, never mind in the Premier League. He goes to Brentford. They show him all the love. They gave him that chance when no one else would. Where do you think his head is at now in terms of what he wants to do with his career?
I reckon he's going to... This is all speculation as well. I reckon he will probably not be looking beyond the end of this season, because a footballer's family will always be involved in the discussions around their career. And we all saw the effect of what happened to him in the Euros on his wife, because it was being shown quite brazenly by the broadcasters. She was in bits. And I think that any discussion...
Disgrace, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think any discussion about what he does next will involve her. And I don't think now would be a time for that kind of family discussion. I mean, let's just put ourselves in any professional situation. You've got a big decision coming on, but you've got short-term work to do first. What do? Do you do your short-term work first, and then when you've got a pause, sit down and discuss it with your family? Or do you discuss it with your family while you've still got short-term work to do with it, which could be a distraction? I think that, as he says, he's got options and offers. So I think he's going to get to the end of the season with Brentford. One more game to go. Then he will sit down, like most footballers will, and discuss it with his family and say, well, what do you guys think I should do? Then he will also talk to his representatives and his agents and his managers and stuff like that and say, well, what do you think, or what do you want from me? You know, all of these things. For someone who's been through what he's been through, it was like with Fabrice Muamba. You know, he didn't just sort of say, that's it, I'm not playing football again. He would have discussed it with, you know, medical experts, with his family, with those around him before making that decision. Eriksen has been more fortunate because he's managed to return to the game. But I think a discussion, a more in-depth discussion will be needed, and that will have to wait until after the season, I think.
All right. What is up next?
And up next, I don't know what Paul COYS is saying on that one.
Oh, I'll tell you, it was actually really funny because he was doing the presenting for the post-match for all the awards and everything like that.
Love
and
Paul
the
COYS.
microphone wasn't working. So, he was on the big screen and he was talking, and then like everyone's like, "Oh, we can't hear you, we can't hear you," and he was like the true professional he really is. He was like making a mockery and made it part of the show kind of thing. So and then they changed his microphone and it all.
Oh, fantastic! I love Paul COYS. I like it when he comes back.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
So Squawker is telling us that Harry Kane is the outright top goal scorer against 4 different Premier League sides. Wow. Leicester, Arsenal, West Brom, and now Burnley has been added to that list.
Crazy.
I'd be interested to know if any other striker holds that distinction. Not necessarily those particular clubs, but just has been the top scorer against 4 different sides.
Yeah, with the amount of goals Alan Shearer.
You would think,
you would think that he would have at least a couple.
Yeah,
but I don't know that for a fact.
I think we should employ the YouTube hive mind to find out for us.
Well, if any of you guys know those stats out there or can find them out, do let us know in the comment section.
Absolutely.
But that is unbelievable. And 17 goals against Leicester.
Yeah, he loves scoring against Leicester, doesn't he? 17 in 18 performances,
something like that. Yeah. And I mean, 13 against Arsenal. Only player, I think, in Premier League history now to score against a certain team 8 years on the trot.
That's right, yep.
So, unbelievable stuff. And for that to happen against Arsenal, music
it's
to my ears.
Sweet. We had a brush with this gentleman on Thursday, Callum Law, who is a massive Kulusevski fan, to the extent that he brought his own Swedish flag to the pub, draped across him, and he was fortunate enough to meet his favourite player.
Yeah, exactly. And check that out on the Arsenal vlog.
Yes.
He was right there at the beginning. So, it's good to meet him.
Yeah. There's a reply here. I'm not sure about that one. So more from Dejan on Instagram saying, "Thank you from the bottom of my heart for making me feel at home. See you soon. Come on, you Spurs."
Big up Dejan. He's absolutely been an absolutely stellar signing.
Definitely.
Revolutionised our attack this season, in my opinion. And I think that we definitely have a hole in the team when he's not playing.
Yes, I think so. Mora gave a medium account of himself yesterday. There was some good things, but not that many. But yeah, compared to Kulusevski, it's night and day. Absolutely. More from Harry Kane. I think he's talking about Conte here. So I think the improvement has definitely been there since the gaffer came in to where we are now. It shows it can be done in a short space of time, but obviously we will see what happens over the summer and look forward to the next season with a great manager.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's a message, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens over the summer, which is the key point there, isn't it?
I think so. Everyone's saying it. Everyone is saying it. Conte is saying it. The players are saying it. The fans are saying it. Just need to now see if a specific person says it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get that checkbook out, Lee.
Get it out. Yeah. From Thomas Frank, most Premier League wins since the start of March, and Spurs are second in that list.
Tough. Level with Liverpool.
Man
City.
Yeah. It just again shows that you can argue that this club or that club or the other club should get top 4. Spurs have probably done the most from the position they were in to get it. Whether we do or don't, we don't know. But we've certainly put the work in.
But I mean, for Brentford to have the same amount of wins as Man City since the start of March,
absolutely, it's insane. this is why I like Brentford so much. They're a good, strong side. They play really good football. Thomas Frank has got them set up really well, especially with their resources that they have available. They're doing a good job.
All right, next up.
And this about yesterday, I think. Richarlison should have had a penalty there, but he was unfortunate he doesn't play for Spurs.
Some salt.
Yeah. Would you like some pepper with that, sir, to go with your salt?
Just salt, extra
just
salt,
salt. Absolutely. And those are the ones that I've got. Did you have one more that you wanted added to that? And let me see if it comes up. There was one more, wasn't there? There we go. There's a few more, actually. Bear with. And we just scroll.
That one of Stell was that.
Oh, yeah.
First one next, yeah.
There we go. So Stell's done a stylized sort of screenshot from Thursday's game. More powerful than nuclear. The thing I love most is being a year. That's actually quite a nice bit of artwork. I'll sort of make it a little bit bigger if that shows up. Not sure if it will.
I was talking to Stell after the game yesterday, and he was like, I can't believe it. I'm actually going to have to wear that shirt.
Yes.
I'm actually going to have to wear that shirt. But
it may well be.
It's not done and dusted till the fat lady sings.
Absolutely. But Stell's, I would be sourcing that shirt ASAP. What else we got? So this is again from Mike McGrath, what you mentioned earlier. NUFC incentivizing performances for their players in the last 2 games. It's fantastic.
I mean, what more could we want?
What more can we want? Yeah.
What more can we want?
Absolutely.
I mean, I genuinely believe it is going to be a cauldron at St James's Park
think so.
tonight, and I think it's going to be an atmosphere which I don't know if Arsenal are going to be able to handle.
Yeah,
especially with the kind of injuries that they have as well.
Definitely. Look, this Arsenal side is really young. When Alan Hansen very famously many years ago said you can't win anything with kids, and then was proven wrong, there was some truth to what he was saying. The reason that he felt like that is not necessarily because you can't get talented kids. Of course you can. We've seen them. We've seen the likes of Wayne Rooney, Michael Owen, people like that coming in at a very young age and setting fire to the league. The point is that these are still immature young men. Imagine those of us who are above that age. Think what you were like at that age. Think about how easily things that happened to you affected your mood, affected the way that you went about things, because we're still growing at that age. We're still developing at that age. It's almost a little bit unfair to put so much pressure on people that young. Not that I feel sorry for Arsenal players. So put them in a pressure cooker like that, they're going to be affected by it.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
Got next? More vids again from Tottenham Hotspur. Bom dia, sois Newcastle. That's the Brazil Spurs official supporters club. We've got Dejan, Kane, Sonny, and it looks like Lucas Moura.
Lucas, yeah.
In Newcastle strips. I'm hoping that's not saying that they're going to be transferring the sort of the 3 on the left. But yeah, I think it's fair to say we're all Newcastle fans.
Away the lads.
Absolutely. Lovely picture there of Kane and Son again, which we showed earlier with their. I think that's Kane's family. Yeah, well, it has to be. It's not Son's family. His family weren't there. Yeah. Poor Son. He was all by himself.
His dad doesn't let him marry anyone until his career's over.
Till his career's over, absolutely. He's going to explode on his wedding night,
I think on his wedding night, I think his wife is going to probably give birth 9 months after the wedding night to 6 babies.
Yeah, absolutely. Once they scrape her off the ceiling, probably. It's going to be it's going to be frightening. I'm glad I won't be there. And then yes, someone has done a very interesting workup job with a little bit of tape. The colour works with Trippier on the back, and as you say, Tim, Ben, he's bigged up Spurs and says he's going to do it for us. I loved Kieran Trippier. I had a lot of time for him. I really did.
Yeah. Do you think with Kieran Trippier maybe we let him go a bit too early?
I think we did. Yeah. There was stuff going on in the background, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. I mean, apparently he was playing with an injury throughout that whole season, and that in itself, for him to play through an injury for us, I mean, he was committed to the cause, wasn't he? And
definitely.
When you saw the kind of path we went down after selling him, I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer, isn't it?
Absolutely. And even in the January when we were talking about transfers, I was banging the Trippier drum. I was saying we should be going in for him because he's got pace. Obviously not as much as he had because he's getting on a little bit, but he still had pace. He can put in a cross. He's an absolute master of set pieces. You know, he played for Atletico, he played for Diego Simeone, one of the best teams in Spain, one of the best managers in the world. You know, there's value there, and we really should have gone in for him. We didn't. Newcastle got him. Obviously, he had the unfortunate injury that sort of kept him out for a bit, but we did let him go early, and we should have got him back. But hey, that's the way it goes.
If he scores the winner tonight against Arsenal, would you retract that statement?
What, letting him go? Oh, I see. Letting him. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that I would be more sanguine about it. Let's put it that way. It's like we let him go and we should have got him, but you know what? He got us Champions League football anyway. So, hey, them's the breaks.
Exactly. Well, anyway, that is how Twitter reacted.